Prescient recently co-hosted a webinar with Influx, and the links to get the slides and the recording of that webinar are going to be in the description of this video below. But in that webinar, we mentioned that Prescient had developed an easydb node to make querying Influx databases fast and easy. So I would like to give you a quick demo of that node. Here we are in Designer 2, and in this example flow, when this button is pressed, a query is going to be triggered and the results are going to be displayed in the debug sidebar. Going into the user interface for the easydb node, naturally Influx server needs to be specified. For 2.0 servers, it's just a URL and access token. In this example, I am using an Influx cloud node, but of course it can be the server could be anywhere, including the same machine that you're in. So once the server is specified, the next thing to specify is the time range. Starting with the stop time, we have two options. Now, which means the time that the query is run, or date can be specified, day and time can be specified. And then for the start time, there are two options, also date, and what I have selected here, time delta, which essentially means now minus a particular time range. In this case, it's 1 hour, and there's several ways to specify the time range, and those can be seen in Influx online documentation. The next thing to specify are the number of points, the maximum number of points that the query is going to return. And then the easydb node has an option to align the fields with the same timestamp, which means that if the query is querying several fields and those fields have in several samples of those fields, they happen to share the same timestamp, they're going to be grouped together in an object at the output. So there will be one object with potentially many fields per unique timestamp at the output. If this option is deselected, then the output is going to have an object per field, regardless of the fact that they might have the same timestamp as other fields. So obviously having this selected minimizes the number of items in the output message. And now the next thing to select is the bucket, and this gets automatically retrieved. All the buckets that are in the server selected get fetched and displayed. So let's pick this one. And now you can start adding filters, and these again get automatically selected. So and updated. So as I select different filters, obviously the options that I'm presented with get narrower and narrower. And let's just select current and the fields. Obviously you can select several ones and mode. Once all the filters needed are selected, let's click done, deploy, and now trigger the query, and you can see in the output, as is the case with the InfluxDB first-party nodes, the query results are in the payload property of the output message, and it's an array of objects. And because the align option was selected, now there's an object per timestamp, and you can see there's here are the fields I selected. They're all in the same object. If the align option was deselected, you would have a similar object like this, but with just one field per item in this array. Additionally, the easydb node in its query property of the output message displays the actual Flux query that was run, and this is helpful for learning purposes, for documentation, etc. So that's it. As you can see, it's super fast and easy to query databases with the easydb node in Prescient Designer. Thank you.